There we are. There we are. Psych Ups with Brian. Yeah, you like to get psyched up and learn things about real estate and your mind and doing better in life. Peak performance, achieving mental wellness and peak performance. That's what I should say every day. Join Psych Ups and achieve peak performance and mental wellness. That's what we're here for. So, I'm going to give you some tips though about real estate today because it's National Love Your Lawyer Day. So I actually created a 12-page report all about lawyers. If you made it really easy for me, maybe I would send it to you. If you guys know what my email is, right? wolfcouple@gmail.com. But this report basically goes through everything you need to know about an attorney, real estate attorneys, and working with them. Some of you live in states where you must use a real estate attorney to close a real estate deal. Most of you live in states where you can close it with an attorney or you can close it at a title company. Now, it really comes down to who you're working with. I have an awesome title rep, title guy. He's not a lawyer, but he does everything like I want. He works the paperwork just like I like. He explains it the way I want. He gets the deals closed. I never get a call from closing saying the seller has questions. You know, he knows how to close them. And so I don't have to worry about it. So it's not even whether it's an attorney or a title company rep that you work with. You should find somebody you really like and have a good working relationship. And in terms of the lawyer, there's two kinds of lawyers. There's sticklers and there's deal makers. Okay, what do you want? You want a deal maker. So there's some questions when you're calling these lawyers I want you to ask and see if they're the right lawyer. First of all, there's like just a few questions to see if they're even in the running. First question when you call a real estate attorney is, do you even do closings? Well, some real estate attorneys just do litigation or they just do tax, stuff or whatever, real estate taxes. So if they do closings for local investors, that's what you want to ask them. Does your office, you can ask this of the receptionist or whoever picks up the phone, does your office do closings for local investors? Can I use my paperwork and send a seller in there and you'll close it for me? And if they say, yes, we do that, then you want to say, how comfortable are you with seller financing and lease purchases? Because some of our paperwork, sometimes we'll do some creative strategies like that. And if they say, well, we're fine with that kind of thing, we just want to see the paperwork in advance, obviously. And I say, I'll send it to you. Actually, I've got a deal cooking right now. And that's another piece of advice. I almost don't want you to call around to find an attorney if you don't have an attorney yet until you have a deal, because then you're for real. You're money to that lawyer. You're not just somebody calling, asking questions, wasting their time. So you are money. You're trying to set up a closing. You're trying to set up a closing for them to close one of your deals. So this is the best time if you do have a property under contract to call and say, hey, I've got a property under contract. Do you do closings for local investors? I'd like to send a seller in there. And yes, there's some creative aspects to this deal. Are you comfortable with seller financing and lease purchases? And if they say yes to all that, great. Now you can ask those same questions of a title rep, a title company representative who could close deals for you. Same thing. Title company reps are sometimes more flexible, plus cheaper, plus they have an attorney on staff. So if it does need some kind of legal input, then you can always get that from the attorney on staff. Okay, so that's what you want to ask when you call them. And then the last thing I want you to say is, if I get a deal under contract, how long from when I send it in do you get the title work back? Because these people are also pulling title reports for you. How long before you get the title report back, usually, and how long before you can get them in to sign the final paperwork? Now, I really want that to be a week. I want that to be, I send in the contract on Monday morning and we'll have title back by Thursday or Wednesday, and then we'll be able to bring them in on Thursday or Friday for our final closing where they deed the property over to you. So that is your perfect lawyer, guys. Somebody who knows seller financing, is flexible with it, is also flexible with lease purchases, also can get them in a few days and runs title fast and does closings and is flexible and is a deal maker, not a stickler. Like I said, write that down, guys, because you run into a lot of attorneys out there, the more deals you do, and title reps too. And they kind of fall into these two categories of, yes, they want to do whatever they can do to make it happen. They're a deal maker. They want everybody happy. They want the deal done. All right. But then you get sticklers who they'll look for every little dang thing in there that they can bring up. I don't know if it's they want to look smart or, you know, they're trying to, technically, they're trying to protect you maybe, but it just makes it harder. You know, I want deal makers. I want people who want to have deals happen. So if you make this easy for me, like I said, if you put your email in the chat, I might send you the report. It is a really awesome report, and it has a lot of questions, and it has the 12 things that lawyers will do for you. And it is really an awesome report. And I'm in a giving mood. We're coming up on the holiday season, Thanksgiving. So if you want a really awesome lawyer report, Jennifer, you want to put that in there? Actually, if you guys, you know, the best way, if you really want something from me, is text me. And then I can respond, because what the problem is, what happens is the emails get all, you know, we got hundreds of emails coming in. And so emails are easy to get to go to spam or get overlooked or whatever. Whereas if you text me, then I know I'm connecting with you. So, and that's true if you have deals and stuff. And guys, I go back and forth because sometimes I'm busy. And you're not paying me anything to help you, but I want to help you, and I love seeing you do deals, and that's so important to me. So if you have some deal or some specific questions about deals, I'm open to you sending me a text and, you know, asking me questions, so long as it's not going to take, you know, a half an hour of my time to respond. You know, if I can pretty much look at the question and say, okay, they just need to do this, and I can just text something back to you. I'm actually, oh, I hate to even say I'm going to do that, but I'm actually probably okay with that, especially if you guys have been following me a while. All right. So, but I just want you to not, you know, there's such a crucial point in a deal, and actually your attorney can wreck your deal. How do you think we know that? That's why it's important to get the right attorney and to get somebody who's a deal maker and who will help you do your deals. Now, I hired an attorney when I first got into the business. I found a real estate attorney with a good reputation, and I said, hey, can you look over and review all my legal paperwork to make sure it all is legal for Arizona? Well, guess what happened? I kept calling every week, and he kept saying, well, I haven't got to it yet. I haven't got to it yet. 6 weeks later, finally, I get a hold of him, and he says, yep, it's all good. And he sends me a bill for $1,500. Okay, what a joke. He never even, I don't think he even looked at it, or he looked at it for 5 minutes and he charged me $1,500. So that's why I want you to not even ask attorney to review your paperwork. Just when you get something under contract, send the paperwork over there that's filled out, and they'll, trust me, it's all legal. And, you know, if they want to add an addendum here or there, let them do it. You know, if you have something quirky in your state, there's no problem with doing that. All right. But yes, you need to get an attorney or a title company. You'll feel a lot more ready to close deals, obviously, if you have them in place already. And title companies are maybe easier to work with, also more flexible on running title for you for free. If you promise them, you'll use them for all of your closings. And that's another thing you can negotiate if you're talking to a title company. But call title reps. They know the business. They know all the ins and outs. You can ask them questions like, do people use land trusts around here a lot? If you're still trying to figure out how you want to take title of properties, whether you want to do it in a land trust or in an LLC, ask a local title rep. Do a lot of the investors around here buy properties and take them into land trusts? And if they see a lot of land trusts, then the judges in the area are probably cool with it. And so you're probably cool with it. But if they say, no, I don't really see land trusts. The only time I ever see a trust is if somebody's putting something in a family trust to protect it. Okay, well, then trusts aren't common in your area, and judges probably won't like the smell of them. And maybe you should just buy your houses in LLCs. Okay, so that's lots of tips. Hi, morning, Charles. Morning, Jennifer. You guys are awesome. And okay, so now I am going to, again, guys, if you want that attorney report, I'm going to be flexible and send it to you, even though I usually charge money for that. Great info. Yes, lots of stuff. If you don't have your attorney, that's my phone number to, yes, email. Yes, get some great free info. Thank you, Jennifer. You're so good about posting what I'm talking about. Good morning, everyone, Charles. All right, so guys, let's have a great weekend. how much, we only have about a month and a couple of weeks before Christmas. So I really want you to get a deal before Christmas, 1 or 2 deals. So let's really do some calling this weekend. Let's make 20 calls. What's our KPI for the week? Talk to 20 people a week about real estate. Literally, it's that simple. Talk to 20 people. It could be networking contacts or it could be sellers. Right now, I'd like it if it's sellers, obviously, because that's going to lead to a deal. All right, FSBOs or realtors. If you're talking to realtors can lead to deals as well. So that's also a very productive call to be making over the weekend. In fact, you know what? Maybe on Monday I'll talk about realtors again because I haven't talked about realtors for a little bit. And realtors are important for your business. All right, so guys, what's our affirmation for today? It's Love Your Lawyer Day. I love my lawyer. Okay, that's what you want to be able to say. Okay, I love my lawyer. Let's just go with that. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. On 3 on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I love my lawyer. I love my lawyer. I love my lawyer. Okay, well, if you follow that report I'm giving you, you will love your lawyer because you're going to find the right lawyer for you. Okay, take 3 deep breaths in. Remember, it's a deal maker, not a stickler. 8 deep breath in because you get attorneys of both types. And sometimes they make it harder, and they bring up stuff that doesn't have to be brought up. Again, hold it a second and let it go. Okay, and one more. Real deep. Hold it and awesome job. All right, everybody, let's have a great weekend. Let's stay fit. What are you going to do? You're going to keep expecting success. Keep your expectations high. You're going to keep getting awesome training from the Wolf Couple and taking action. Awesome. Be in touch with me.